Well, that was something. Welcome back, everyone, to Zoom Fan, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the latest travesty, big truck pups. So, let's dive in. So, I knew this episode would be a failure within the first 10 seconds because Ryder, once again, just like many other times throughout the show, made new gear, new vehicles, and met a new pup all in secret just so that he can surprise the Paw Patrol. He keeps on doing this and it really pissed me off because this seems to be happening a lot more recently now and it's starting to get on my nerves. Like, Ryder, why do you keep on doing this? Anyways, we see that the Paw Patroller is on this busy highway and you can see that Adventure Bay is really far in the background. Keep this in mind because it comes back up later. So the Paw Patroller comes into this truck stop, gas station sort of thing, and it's small, and this happens to be the new lookout for the truck pups or whatever. And we are then introduced to the new character within the sub-series, which is Al, and his introduction is about as boring as it can possibly get. And I am sure that the series will give a good, justifiable reason for his existence. But anyways, Al can't stay for long because Al has to take these giant pieces of metal to the train station so that the train can take it up to the dam, which is in need of repairs. So he gets to the train station and he puts all the pieces of metal onto the cars to be taken away. And of course, Mary Goodway is here so that she can oversee the construction herself. And she looks down her binoculars to see the dam and see that a piece of it is obviously starting to shoot water out of it. And apparently, Mary Goodway is aware that the bridge is in need of repair, so looking down the binoculars to see that the dam is damaged seems a little bit weird since you should already know that. You wouldn't need to look at that if you were already aware of it. But anyways, that doesn't matter because we all gotta laugh at Chicoletta wearing a hard hat and some boots. Anyways, Mayor Goodway doesn't decide to take her car up to there. She decides to ride on the train with the train pilot or whatever. And they decide to go up together on the train. And as they're going, unfortunately, they come off of the track. And here's the reason why. You're not going to believe this. The reason why the train comes off the track is because there is no track. There is a gigantic piece of track that just is not there. There is no context as to why it is missing. You are not going to get that in this episode. There is literally just open dirt, and there are the two tracks on either side, but in the middle, there is no track. What, did the Iron Giant come and eat it? I mean, where did it go? So as Al is driving on the busy highway, he looks down at the train tracks and he sees that the train has overturned, of which he then contacts the Paw Patrol, which seems weird to me since the train driver and Mary Goodway both have phones and they don't bother contacting Ryder. And so it calls into question, would they even contact Ryder if Al hadn't done it? And even if Al had did that, why didn't Mary Goodway or the train driver call Ryder for help? Even if, like, they don't know that Al was there, that Al saw and that Al called for help. And I found it pretty funny that when Al calls, it sounds like as if it's coming on like a walkie-talkie. So it's like all staticky and shit. It seems weird, but whatever. So the Paw Patrol are called in to help, and Marshall hits a tire and he flies on in and he says, wow, I'm on a roll or some shit. Which, to be honest with you, isn't even like the worst joke ever. I wasn't like cringing or rolling my eyes or anything like that. It was just a complete nothing joke if it were to be a joke. It's just nothing at all. Leaves you feeling empty, much like this episode. So they get into the lookout part, and remember what I said was to keep in mind that on the busy highway where the episode literally starts off and you see far in the background you see Adventure Bay. Well, the Paw Patrol get into this place and they look out the window And not only do you see the busy highway, but they literally look out the window, and the lookout, the actual lookout, is like a mile away from them. Even though the shot before shows that they are basically in the middle of a busy highway, who knows, like 100 miles away from Adventure Bay. How the hell can they see the actual lookout from where they are? This makes no sense. But what's even better is that they look out the other part of the window and the dam is right there. So they would know that it's leaking from the location of which they are sitting. So it wouldn't even matter to contact them at that point. They could literally see that it's going to break. So none of this makes any sense whatsoever already. So the Paw Patrol are made aware of the situation, and Rocky and Rubble are called to the job. And I believe Rubble was actually chosen because he's been a whiny bitch for the entire time and just wanted to use his truck. And so they get in their vehicles and they drive off. Now, I know I've been talking about nothing but negatives so far, so I'm going to give a positive here. Yes, that's right. There is a positive in this episode. The scene where all the pups meet up at the train and work on it, I actually like this scene quite a bit. You see, some of the Paw Patrol members, including the new one, Al, work together as a team to fix the situation. And so I find that this scene is actually well done, and I actually like it. I like seeing the vehicles in action, and I like seeing all of them work together. I think it's just straight up cool. So outside of that, we find out from Rocky's machine that the train is damaged, so someone needs to get these giant pieces of metal up to the dam to fix it. So they have the idea is to actually pull it using their trucks. So Al is in the front, and the Paw Patroller is on the back, including Rubble and Rocky as well. But because of the impending storm that is coming up really fast, some fog rolls on in, and so they can't see anything. And this is where stupidity strikes, because there's just a random beaver on this train track just sleeping there. Just doing nothing, he's just sleeping. And so Al stops really fast and honks his horn, but then the train cars become detached from his vehicle and start sliding down the mountain. Now here's my question. Since we know the Paw Patroller, that the camera focuses on it, that the Paw Patroller clipped in to the back of these train cars, where the hell is it? You see it rolling down the mountain, and apparently they just detached. I'm guessing that Al's truck just has so much power that he started pulling it without their help. But of course they do end up saving it, and so Al has a great idea to honk his horns just to make sure that anything ahead knows that they're coming and can get out of the way in time. And so even though some people might actually look at this as sort of a cool little scene, or, you know, just a cool character moment, I'd like to really talk about this one because this is so pointless and meaningless. The entire scene of the train detaching from the track because there is no track, all the way to the pups having to use the vehicles to push these pieces of metal up to the dam so that they can fix it. All this is complete filler. Okay, there is nothing here. It is all pointless. If the train had just made it there, and the Paw Patrol had just made it there on time, and there was absolutely no topple over or no tracks missing, and everyone was just there on time, the episode would be a lot shorter. So obviously the writers had to come up with a reason for the Paw Patrol to be used and for the episode to be extended, because they wouldn't have much episode at all if they just did the way that it was supposed to be done. So they came up with these reasons for why all of this happened. And like I said, I'm never going to get over that track idea. There is a legit track piece that is missing for no reason whatsoever. And we don't have the context as to where it went. We don't know who stole it or for what reason that they might have stolen it. So all of this, it is just a complete waste of time. So everyone makes it to the dam and everyone gets unloaded and stuff like that. And for some reason, Mary Go-Away then says she's going to fix the crew or whatever, even though she has the Paw Patrol here already. So the crew that she is talking about is most likely from the Ultimate Rescue episode, Rebels, where you see that there is these two men, these two construction workers that are working with them. And I believe that that is the team that she is contacting. So the Paw Patrol start putting everything together and everything into place. All the metal pieces are there, and they get the concrete and everything. And apparently they say that it's super sticky concrete. I'm not even sure what that even means. Did you add glue to the damn concrete? I don't know how it would be super sticky, and it wouldn't even be dry enough for that to even be possible. Even if it were to be sticky, it would probably still wash off even if you shot it onto the hole that is shooting water out of it. It wouldn't even matter. But anyways, everybody does their job perfectly and they get the hole fixed. And so everyone's celebrating, except there's no reason to celebrate now because a new hole is formed within the wall that is shooting water out of it, except this time this one is actually bigger. And they don't know where it's coming from, so Zuma is sent in to go and check. Even though Zuma doesn't actually go underwater where that would actually be, he is floating above the water level. You know, the water of which is not really affecting anything on the bottom of the bridge, which would be underwater. And so he discovers that there's a bunch of logs and that there is a whirlpool that is apparently sucking them down, which is hitting against the wall and is making all these cracks and holes and stuff like that that is shooting water out of it. So Zuma has to take care of the issue by dragging the logs away so it doesn't damage the bridge anymore. However, Zuma discovers something. So get this one straight, everybody. Okay, there is a hole, this like dugout hole or whatever in the dam. And there are 2 ducks that are living inside of this hole. 2 damn ducks. Okay, I just want everyone to know that right now, that there are 2 ducks. Okay, so Ryder says we must relocate the ducks before we fix the dam that is going to break and flood the town. So I want everyone to realize how stupid this actually is. So instead of just fixing the dam that is shooting water out of it and is damaged, okay, he then decides to not do anything for the moment. Okay, he needs to relocate the ducks first. So he is putting everybody in town that are unaware of the type of dangers that awaits them. He is putting them all at risk for ducks. Just really take that in. Ryder is not fixing the dam. He's not doing his job because he needs to make sure that those ducks are safe. So the dam that is going to come apart, and it's up to him to stop it, but he refuses to do anything until the ducks are relocated. Can you believe the shit I am telling you? Can you believe that this is what Ryder is doing? Fix the dam that is breaking. There are 2 ducks, and that is it. Not only that, but Zuma is also up there. Why doesn't Zuma do something to save the ducks? Why has he gotta wait? So instead, Chase has to take one of his drones that is the light fixture on top of his truck, which does look cool. It flies up there and it gets the nest out. So here's the thing though, is that you could still be fixing it at that point and still send Chase's drone up there. You don't need to halt the production, all because of ducks. This is pure stupidity on Ryder's part. It is so ridiculous I cannot even believe it. But it actually did happen. And so, with that, the part that they didn't bother fixing then comes loose and water starts shooting out of it and America Way is taken up by the water. And so she's floating down the river on this log. Luckily she gets saved and Rubble's down there and he redirects the water, which seems crazy. Why didn't they just do that before? Instead of building an entire dam, you could just redirect the water, but whatever. And so with all of that, they are able to fix it, put it back together, and the episode comes to a close. Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing. Al gets in his truck, and the ducks that Chase saved are hitching a ride with him, so that's great, thank God. Goodness gracious, what an episode. What a ridiculous episode. This episode is not the worst of the show by any means. It's not the worst of the season, but this episode is ridiculous on so many levels. There's many things that are not explained at all. I have absolutely no idea where the track went. It just vanished. There is a piece of the track literally missing, and there's no explanation for it. There's no context as to where it went. And I'd like to talk about Al for a little bit because this may just be the most pointless new pup ever in the entire series. I cannot even begin to explain how useless this character actually is. Once again, there is nothing about this character that adds anything to the team. outside of the fact that he has the giant metal arms. Well, here's the thing though, there are some characters in the show already that have metal arms. Zuma has metal arms. Rocky has metal arms. You even see it's very similar to what Rocky has in the movie. Even Everest has these arms, very similar looking too. And like I said, outside of his vehicle, there's nothing about him that's special at all. This character is not capable of doing anything. He just talks about how he was alone, you know, driving around as a trucker all alone on the busy highway, but now he has the Paw Patrol, and that's basically it. There is nothing to him whatsoever. And there's nothing that he can contribute at all to the Paw Patrol, making him completely useless. Even more useless than all the other characters. This episode is not even the worst of the season, nor the series by any stretch of the imagination, but this episode is still completely stupid on almost every single level. Nothing works, everything is stupid, everything is now pointless. I don't get it. And this would have worked better if this was the episode for Rubble's Ultimate Rescue. Instead of, you know, looking out for a comet, he could literally he would have to fix the dam. And that would make sense because he's actually working. He's actually fixing things. This would make sense. But instead we got the trucker pups to do that. You know, big delivery trucks instead of the actual team to work on this. But whatever, I'm done. This episode is completely stupid, but I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.